first. We'll quickly jump into the starting lineups. At guard, a 6'5" senior, DeAndre Thomas. He's got a couple of huge buzzer beaters already in the Mounts' early season. They're 3-5, 1-4 on the road. Jalen Benjamin, he's done everything in the backcourt as Nana Opoku gets the scoring started for the Mountaineers, but Jalen Benjamin coming in leading scorer, 14.1 a game, averaging over 17 his last 5. Senior forward Mezi Offerum, number 13, along with number 22. We just saw him score. Opoku, also a senior, 6'9", each of them. And then rounding it out, Malik Jefferson, the big threat down low, number 42, the 6'9" senior. He will be heard from tonight. Great rebounder, shoots about 60%. 2-0 Mount as Loyola will restart.
Golden DK just getting that shot off in time before the shot clock expires.
Barely.
The Golden DK joined in the starting lineup for the Hounds by Jalen Andrews.
Andrews with a good look.
Missing the 3 there, as well as Cam Spencer, of course, the team leading 18 points per game, second in the Patriot League to start the season. David Brown III for a 3rd straight game in the starting lineup. Poku misses that inside, and Kenneth Jones as well, the senior from New Jersey, averaging 9.8 points per game and leading the Patriot League with 4.5 assists per game as well.
And Loyola, after the missed bunny, just threw that one away, so they lost the possession they'd like to have back, even though it's early. Loyola looks just a tad tight, understandable. They disposed of Chicago State Wednesday night with relative ease. And we've got a foul on the floor. Golden DK
has to extend out on Benjamin there. Probably not going to see a lot of Benjamin DK matchups as the day goes on.
Yeah, he's worried about some other bodies. They wear numbers like 42, 22, 13. Mount trying to get some offense going here. The shot clock down near 5. Jefferson hands it off. Benjamin using the screen, way off the mark. That's great D by Loyola, and the Mount just looked confused from start to finish on that possession.
Sure did, Gary. He tried to sell the foul there too, and there was nothing there. And I don't know about basketball viewers, but it gets frustrating. What a cut.
Bounce pass from Jones. Spencer on the finish.
Cam Spencer.
2-2 in the early going.
He can do everything, Gary. Just keep him healthy. This can be the story of the season for this team. Can Cam Spencer stay on the floor, because boy does he do everything.
Spencer showed what he could do down the stretch of his freshman year, and he did it with an ailing hip, as the 3-pointer is good from Thomas. 5-2 Mount St. Mary's over Loyola. And it took him a while to get back because he couldn't get the surgery until the middle of the summer in 2020. But he gave Loyola all the kick they needed to get all the way to the Patriot League tournament final. And Kenny Jones answers. We'll talk more about Mr. Jones and his remarkable first phase of the season as we go today. But the healthy Spencer that came in today, Tavares Hardy, even assuming he would have Santi Aldama, who's now getting paid handsomely by the Memphis Grizzlies.
And getting double-doubles for the Memphis Grizzlies.
I mean, he said Cam Spencer will be our most important player, even with Santi. And now he really is
no question
the player.
He had a career-high 7 assists in the win over Chicago State earlier in the week.
Boy, great post-up turn. Opoku, no problem. 7-5, Mount St. Mary's. This is what the Mount's going to try to do. Be deliberate on offense, try and play some pick and pop, little pick and roll, using those big men. As Loyola trying to get started here, and Spencer, and they're going to get DK.
He was
with his
moving.
Quick number 2 easy call, and he will be exiting.
Yep. You're absolutely right. That's an easy call, Gary. He was certainly, we're sitting right here, he was moving through that pick. They're going to call that every time, and that's 2 early fouls, not even 4 minutes into the game.
And DK departs, and the double bigs, the twins, the Elix brothers. Number 1, Velko, and number 11, Milos. Both are coming off back-to-back really solid games off the bench. The victory up at Fairfield, great come-from-behind win by the Greyhounds, and then the easier win against Chicago State as Benjamin's in-and-out shot gives it back to Loyola.
To your point, Gary, they combined for 19 points in the win over Chicago State. The Illiches did. There is so much to like about these young players.
And you throw in Alonzo Fare, who looks like he's coming on strong. It's nice to be young. You can get in shape quickly. The quad injury that just kept him down for weeks and weeks. He had 9. They had 28 points out of their backup bigs. They're going to need him today. Benjamin.
Wow.
Using the arm a bit.
He might have.
And you know Coach wants a basket here.
So, Gary, I'm really thinking that Jalen Andrews' shot at the end of the shot clock could be a turning point in this basketball game.
Could be.
It was a 2-point game at that point.
Barton, who just came in out of that timeout, just fumbled that one away.
Yep.
Kenny Jones gets rejected.
Jefferson again. That's 2 big blocks for Jefferson here in the second half.
Is that going to be DK on the swipe going by?
Ooh.
Or is that going to be Kenny Jones?
I think it was Jones.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
That's rough.
Uh-oh. Golden ran away from the play as if to say, no way anybody saw that.
It's a big foul.
I mean, he can't commit that. It's either Kenny or nobody. And you know, Jones wasn't in position to do it. He's a senior. He's been through the ropes a little bit. He's not going to do it. I mean, it's a block shot off the board. You know, it's a tough thing to corral. Sweet move and finish by Jalen Benjamin.
We know what he's capable of.
He's got 11. And it's a 4-point lead for the Greyhounds. Very active. The bigs come out on you, and right there, sneaking his way into another. There's Oferum, who's just come back in with his 3 fouls. So that's a calculated move, but look how it paid off. Steal, bucket, now 2-point lead for Loyola.
And first points of the game for the senior from Germantown, Maryland, the former George Washington Colonial. Loyola's kept him in check because of that foul trouble, but see if that gets him going.
Nah, nope. Dribbled your way into trouble.
Doesn't seem like going at Jefferson.
Freshman Illich.
I don't think going at Jefferson right now is the best strategy for the Hounds, Gary.
Ball probably needed to come out of the post. And you know, speaking of Oferum, wow, a great look. Use the left hand, too much spin off the glass, but his #1 assignment is keep Cam Spencer from killing us.
Sure.
Now, he's still got 17 points. He's drawing fouls beautifully. And Kenny Jones, speaking of, is significant. It means we're definitely going to see the Illich twins, more of them. But Alonzo Fare is not dressed as if he's ready to come into this game. He's over there sitting next to 3 ably dressed Greyhounds. Golden DK is going to sit for a while. He may have re-aggravated something.
Oh, it's the Jalen Andrews show now.
Jeez. Rise up, knock it down, and Andrews is on a run right now. 15 points. His Boys Latin teammate, former Cam Spencer, with 17. Good defense there, forcing Jefferson out and into a little bit of uncomfortable release. And little plays, Glenn.
Yep.
45-41 Greyhounds.
When they get what they want out of that timeout, that's a well-spent timeout. You get a score and a stop coming out of that timeout. You're really happy about the decision.
Wade Jackson on the floor, by the way, replacing Kenny Jones.
But still very close, very competitive.
And defensively, still pretty darn good at both ends.
Yep.
I mean, Mount doesn't disguise that they don't want your comfortable first or second pass. They want to make that possession just disrupted. Oferum, Wade Jackson on him.
Great find.
And Okoku uses rim and glass, all of it. Great touch on the baseline.
Oferum to make that pass while he's being well defended. That's an excellent look.
It helps to be about 6 or 7 inches taller than Wade Jackson. He jumped up and threw that pass down to his man. In and out the shot today. Just kind of deserting Milos Ilic.
They're good looks. He's just 0 for 4 now from beyond the arc. They've got to get one of these to go down.
And now Veljko Ilic on the big fella. Oh!
Just turns it over.
Just a miscommunication there.
Yep. Thomas was cutting to the baseline.
Jefferson kind of looking at him like, no, I had you here.
Yep.
45-43, so Loyola hangs on to that lead. Kenny Jones and David Brown. Got a quicker, not as big, but David Brown in that long 6'5" frame. Watch him rebounding and just in the open floor, getting a hand on a loose ball, because he does those things already as a true freshman. Just has a nose for the game. Tough scoring today. He hasn't really had a good look, and he hasn't taken any bad shots. Andrews long off the iron, and just no way to outdo number 22, the reigning defensive player of the year in the Northeast Conference.
To be clear, Andrews can make that shot. We all know that. I think the question is that's thrown away.
Boy, Jefferson cannot make that catch.
No, that was way too high from off him on the pass. But I guess my question would be, is that what you wanted in that possession? Did you want a pull-up three from Andrews on that possession? It seems like he bailed out a little bit in that possession. And that's the only thing I think that I imagine Tavares Hardy may be a little bit frustrated about that.
Let's see if the Loyola four-guard look pays some dividends. Spencer with the turnaround. Looked dead on when it left his hands from our angle.
Certainly did.
Kind of skipped over the hole and out.
And he has not really gotten going in the second half either.
2 points, I believe, in the second half for Cam Spencer. It's going to stay with the Mount. 15 on the shot clock. Just about 9.5 minutes to go. And here comes Mr. Dependable for Mount St. Mary's.
And you're right.
Junior transfer from UAB, Jalen Benjamin. Just another fine game.
And you're right, by the way, Gary. It is just 2 points for Cam Spencer here in the second half, after 15 in half number 1.
Jalen Andrews has been the guy carrying the offense since that late first half for a good portion of this half.
Unnecessary foul. Oh. Just not one you need to commit in that situation.
He knows it.
And that's where you brought up a frustration foul earlier. You wonder if that's some frustration that his shot isn't falling, that he's not getting going in the second half.
A cumulative frustration moment. I think that's valid. They are human, after all. They are amateurs, right?
100%. Even when they're really good, like Cam Spencer is.
Nice cross diagonal pass. Way short. Look at Jefferson picking it clean. Wow.
This Mount St. Mary's front court. These three guys, just like Jefferson.
Not in a position to take a charge there. Just hung out to dry defensively as the rotation was way late and Jefferson was not going to be denied. It's 45 all.
So
Mount St. Mary's with a chance to take its first lead of this second half.
So right now, the trio of Offer, Mapoku, and Jefferson has 18 points on the day with a chance to add a 19th. They are now 14 points away for a combined 2,000 points for their careers.
Wow. And Jefferson sneaking up on third place in the career rebounding list in the Division I era for Mount St. Mary's.
Came into today needing 8. He's got 5 for the game, and Mount St. Mary's has gone back in front.
46-45, the Mount. Spencer. Oh! He doesn't care. I guarantee you that. 19 points now for Spencer, and maybe he ignites with that make. 47-46, Loyola back in front. Short again, Opoku, and that time not even Jefferson could secure that rebound. It was all DK's, and he's back on the floor with those 3 fouls.
The last basket's so important in Cam Spencer. You see your lead. They gotten up to 6, largest of the game for either team, whittled away.
Whoa, what a risky pass, and Cam Spencer draws the 4th foul on Offerum.
And that's huge.
Did you see that drop in the bucket from DK?
Well placed, just perfectly right over those trees.
Golden can pass the ball now. I mean, he's one of the better big men you'll see, especially at this level. He came in today with 17 assists and 13 turnovers. That's there are some point guards that'll take that ratio, and registers in the top 20 in the Patriot League in assists. And he just showed a glimpse right there. Why?
I want to thank Gerard Richardson, who corrected me. It is 8 rebounds now for the day for Jefferson. So he indeed
is he tied for third,
matched,
or is he in third?
He's matched Kelly Beadler for third all time with 660 career rebounds at Mount St. Mary's.
Congratulations, number 42. Loyola doesn't want you to do anything more for
stay
these
right
last
there.
8 minutes.
Stay in that tie.
Hold it right there. He's on the bench getting a breather right now.
It's a huge block from Barton. The basketball family he is.
He will return soon. Andrews, as that possession stays with Loyola, and it could be an important one. What possession can't be important in a game like this? Oh, Andrews, great offensive rebound, yes.
Illich fought for it. It came all the way out. Spencer picked it up, but Illich had to battle that all the way near to midcourt.
Spencer! Flashing the 3 sign to the crowd.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge, just huge.
50-46, Loyola.
Momentum type of play, Gary. Get it.
22 points, excuse me, Glenn.
Offensive rebound, you got to fight for it. The lead to that is a massive possession. Extend the lead out to 4 with 7 minutes to play.
4 games of 20 or more for Cam Spencer. And the miss, tough look, the turnaround by Opoku. And now Loyola feeling like an opportunity is at hand to extend this lead. Jones rims out. The rebound by Thomas.
I appreciate the last time down defensively. I don't know if you noticed this, Gary, but DK was being elbowed into the body 2 or 3 times by Opoku. And a lot of times when that happens, you get frustrated, you end up committing a foul. With those 3 personals, he couldn't afford to do it. That's great discipline from DK.
How about Thomas bullying Spencer and then using the glass? That looked too easy. I think he's just that athletic.
Quietly, he leads the way with 14 points from Mount St. Mary's today.
Well, he has been quiet for a while, but he never goes to sleep. And their defense got a little quiet there. But I think Jalen Andrews caught a sloppy switch.
Well, it's a sharp find, too, from Jones, who noticed that quickly and had to just rifle that ball in there to take advantage of it.
52-48. And just shooting around, doing real light stuff at practice and getting his treatments.
Redding did not check in for what it's worth. He has not entered the game.
Or it might have been, I don't think it was, no, because he's not dressed. I was thinking of Casimir Ochiaka, who is not dressed, and he won't be for a while. Wow! Ooh. Golden DK! Apparently, all ball and a thud of a collision, or they're gonna call it on Golden.
Wow. That's tough.
Are they gonna look at this as a possible flagrant? Because they shouldn't.
That's his 4th, and that's critical. We'll watch it one more time.
I don't know that a foul was committed there.
I saw a lot of ball, Gary.
And he went totally vertical, and he used the glass. Oh, my. I'll tell you what, he ran by his position coach, Tosh Finger, and got a huge high five. I mean, it's one of those fouls that we talk about, they almost have to call it. I don't know. I just think Golden measured himself, got his feet set, knew he had angles to his advantage, and it cost him. And it cost the Loyola Greyhounds.
Oh, it's just out of the...
I mean, I don't think he got him. I think he was falling away, but it counted, so it's 52-all, and now Loyola's got to do something about it, and a great steal by Benjamin.
Takes it away from Illich into the front court. Mount St. Mary's the chance to go on top. Back and forth we go. Back and forth. Every time it seems like somebody's had a little bit of momentum today, Gary, it has been wiped away quickly.
Spencer trying to stay with Benjamin. Illich now trying to take on the corner. Thomas and his brother. Great play by Velko Illich. Boxed out completely Jefferson and took it from him after the miss.
Nowhere for him to go. Jefferson had nowhere to go. He was dead to rights underneath the basket.
And rejected. Great game. 4.5 minutes to go. And it's going to stay with the Greyhounds.
Knocked away by LeFew.
LeFew almost got his hand away in time, but boy, if Loyola doesn't get that call, somebody's going crazy on that Greyhounds bench. I think it's the guy standing with his arms folded. Last name Hardy. Cam Spencer again drawing the foul. He's pretty good at that.
No continuation, just a foul on the floor.
Yeah.
Are they calling it?
Cam hovering near the foul.
I was going to say, I didn't think they were calling it a shooting foul. And that's important. That's a third person on DeAndre Thomas as well.
You got to go in the end for the long ball to the big. Both guards peeled out each in either direction, not open. Throw it up to the long arm, 6'10" guy. Jalen Andrews pulls it back. Nope, short, way short, grazing the iron.
Boy, he got a good look there. Just did not get anything on that shot.
Just misjudged it.
We're pointing out
all it remains.
Both teams 5 team fouls, so still a couple fouls away from either team being in the bonus at this point as we hit the 4-minute mark.
Another facet of a good game. Good active defenses at both ends. Not a lot of fouling. Except for Golden DK.
Sure, right in his 4. Spencer
Off
knocks it away.
Going to have to toss it up.
Ooh.
Oh, deal. Oferum just been a bull on defense, chasing around Andrews and Spencer. Thomas now out on Cam Spencer. He pulls up. He's short.
Might have been deflected a little bit too.
Long rebound off the bounce. Anticipated nicely.
Not a great
by Benjamin.
Not a great possession for Loyola. Out of a timeout.
Not a great possession for the Mount right there. Spencer.
Again, he had the defender off his feet, but couldn't go up and get the foul call.
Luckily, if you're Mount St. Mary's, the defender came down almost perfectly vertically and didn't bump him.
Yep.
Maybe a slight brush. I think it surprised Spencer. He was expecting to get hacked. Just gravity, right, working for you. But now Mount St. Mary's looking to add to this slimmest of leads.
Possessions
Shot clock down to 6.
Critical right now.
Oferum. Big rebound. Big miss. Great defense by Loyola.
Illich getting that rebound, but they got to find some offense now. We've talked about it ad nauseum. They have struggled from the floor in the second half. Somebody's got to get going. Jalen Andrews has been their best bet offensively in half number 2.
Each of the Illich brothers has 6 rebounds, by the way. They have been active, just not scoring enough. Milos really struggling today. The 2 freshmen from Serbia. Hey! How about that? You say your name, you make that shot.
Well, we need to talk more about that. He has not made a shot all day. And with 2 minutes left, trailing by a point, he picks that time to knock down a massive triple.
And he's only taken 4, which means he's not pressing DK. That gave the Greyhounds a lead that might evaporate right here. As Opoku makes the first.
This is his first free throw attempt of the day. How do you like that?
You beat me to the punch. Yep.
2-point game with 1.5 minutes to play, and it's the front end of a 1-and-1.
DK taps it back to Illich wisely.
So that's a big miss. It keeps Loyola in front.
1-point lead for the Greyhounds. Kenny Jones running the point. Andrews, Spencer. Boy, the defense just rotating so well. Spencer puts it on the deck, pulls it back up. The parts of this Greyhound team on offense.
So new possession for the Hounds.
Kenny Jones on the inbound. Spencer bails him out. Boy, the Mount has contested every inbounds pass today.
Oh my. Now that will be the 17th foul. But
it'll be DK.
It'll be DK going to the line.
Which if you're the Mount,
Yep.
you're okay because Golden has had, we don't like to belabor it too much. He knows that it's been a problem since he got here a couple of years ago.
I don't think anybody wants to talk. He's 0 for 7 on the season.
He'll have stretches now and then where he looks good, but they're fleet. I mean, he just is flat out mentally not into that. And the coaches talk about how it affects his offensive game. And they're trying to get him to commit, like I talked about before from Coach Finger, to just go hard. Just go hard to the rim. You know, if you're playing in foul trouble, different story, but be aggressive.
And it's a 1-and-1 here. Oof.
And DK gets it back. And the crowd roars. Hey, that's just as good as a make.
Far better than going 0 for 2 and the other team taking it away, no question. Under a minute.
Andrews says, give me that shot. He wants to take it. He took it, and he made another one. Jalen Andrews, 20 points the other night against Chicago State. He blew up for 30 in the first win down at South Carolina State weeks ago.
What a shot from a senior. I mean, that is awesome. 19 points for Andrews.
57-54, under 30 seconds. Opoku on the miss.
They got a foul.
Spencer gets fouled, and Spencer will come down to the line.
They're saying Spencer didn't have the ball? Wow.
I don't understand that call. Now he's going. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I definitely thought Spencer had possession when he was fouled.
Foul on Mount St. Mary's, number 2, DeAndre Thomas.
DeAndre Thomas.
The result is the same.
Thomas just fouled out. So they're going down hard for Mount St. Mary's. Josh Reeves comes in to replace DeAndre Thomas. Gone. Dakota LeFew is on the floor. Another backup for Mount St. Mary's.
So they didn't call a foul.
So
we
the
assumed
timeout
it
was called
before the foul was committed.
That was confusing because
Yep.
the referee was trailing the play. I thought it was the one that blew the whistle, like he was watching the play.
100% thought.
Because it looked like he got fouled.
Now maybe Tavares Hardy was concerned about Spencer perhaps getting tied up, and so that's the reason why he called the timeout.
Bottom line is he just did his job,
Yep.
and the lead is 5. He makes 2 more. Cam Spencer stepping up, the player of the game, giving the Greyhounds more, and the block
From
over
behind.
the top from behind from Milos Illich. And Loyola right now on the verge of really sealing this baby. They're in terrific position. 14.8 ticks remaining in regulation.
What a finish. Go back to that 3. Illich.
Benjamin trapped among the trees.
Illich struggled, had not knocked down a shot, gets the go-ahead 3, then comes up with essentially a game-sealing block.
Spencer just, boy, it makes a sound. You can hear that sure free throw shot sound the way it goes through. Off the back of that rim, spinning right back to the shooter almost. And he'll take it that way too.
It counts. This is the first time today that either team has led this game by 3.
7-point lead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The first time there's been a 3-possession game today.
And it's over.
Opoku will get it back.
3 seconds remaining. DK decides, why not leave the game now? 3.4 remaining. There's no need to stop the clock at all.
Game's over.
It's just silly.
Tavares Hardy imploring the Reeds faithful. This is a celebratory.
They didn't call a foul?
No, they did. They called a foul. Opoku's at the line.
No, but he's been playing with 4. Why doesn't he have 5?
Oh, that's a...
Come on. Am I losing it?
They called it on someone else before DK, apparently. Hang on. They called it on Spencer before before DK held him up. They called the foul on Spencer.
All right. Because he practically pulled his jersey off.
Yep. Yep. But before that, they had called on Spencer. That's the reason.
Well, you wanted clutch basketball. If you're a Greyhound fan, you got it today. As the Loyola Greyhounds.
Give a shout out. I got a message. Our buddy Jim Chivers is watching at home. Love you, Jim. Feel better. And please, can we get some normal chairs around? I can barely see over this board in front of me because Jim's seat is so low here courtside.
We'll work on that. Spencer working his way down low, spinning into position. He's not happy with his outside shot, nor should he be. He's been under 30% most of this season. But, boy, he creates points down low like he just did there, and the Mount gets it right back. 9-7 Mountaineers.
Nana Poku already has a quick 6 for the game. That helps.
He's been working on that shot, apparently. They don't have to tell him to shoot early and shoot late, sometimes late in the evening, often with his brother Pat, lacrosse legend of Loyola and of the college game in general, that's probably sitting behind us today. He's here often.
No, if the Capital City Go-Go have a game today.
Wide open in the corner. Defense let Thomas get a clear look, and he made the D pay. 12-10, Mount.
Cam Spencer feeling it against Mount St. Mary's. Teams didn't get together, obviously, a year ago because of the COVID impact season, but when they played 2 years ago, Cam Spencer had 15 points in that game behind only Andrew Costeca, who led the way with 25 in a Loyola victory.
Jones, a little short. Well, Spencer right now is being dogged closely by 6'8" Mezi Offerum. And that's impressive because if you're going to play these guys as often as they do together, sometimes two, a lot, all three, you got to be able to defend. You're going to have to defend the smaller, quicker guy. Cam, not the quickest, but he's not a shrimp over there at 6'4" and change. And the ball goes back to the Mount because Loyola couldn't find anybody.
Kenneth Jones unable to inbound the 5-second violation, turns it over, and that's frustrating.
Back on the floor, Benjamin.
So much to like about Jalen Benjamin, the transfer from UAB. 14.1 points per game to lead the team, leads the team 3.9 assists per game. But what jumped out at me, he already has 3 20-point games this season, including 21 in their win over Howard on Tuesday.
Goes right inside to Opoku. He kicks it over to Thomas. In and out. Great offense, just didn't get the payoff.
Everything but down. Rattles around, just won't fall down.
And Benjamin also 41% from three, 93% at the free throw line. He'll turn it over a little bit, but boy, he gives you a lot back in return.
What a
nice
finish.
Two-man game. Velko Illich, and he wanted the foul, and he might have a point. Kind of took one upside the head on the way up. But it's 12-all here in Baltimore. Good start in this good rivalry. 100-75 is the edge, by the way, Mount St. Mary's over Loyola. And the Greyhounds almost created that and almost did again, but it's going to stay with the Mountaineers. Loyola's won 2 straight and 3 of the last 4 in this series.
Gary, how about the effort from your big man, 6'10", Milos Illich, laying it out on the floor to try to make that play. I don't think Jim Chivers would have ever done that. Right,
hey, leave him alone. The man is ailing, but he's a gamer. He's coming back soon, guaranteed. Benjamin might have picked up that dribble a tad early. What's the call?
Tavares Hardy's not happy about it. Guess
Did
they
it
said it was a kick.
Kick ball, okay.
They said it was a kick.
Yep.
For the Mount, number 1, Dakota LeFew returns.
Dakota LeFew returns for his second run as Offerum goes to the bench. Greyhounds, kind of a lazy man half zone look here. And here comes the trap from Jones.
Ooh, that's a bailout call.
Love to see that replay.
Kenneth Jones picks up his first foul of the day. I don't know, Gary.
Might have tapped the wrist.
Maybe.
Just a hair. That's a tough call not to make.
It also seems like Benjamin leaned into that a little bit, but I get it. Yep.
First personal for Kenny Jones, and he is not known for being in foul trouble, and his defense has improved measurably this year. Started 10 games in his first 3 seasons here, was a dependable catch and shoot. We need you to shoot open threes off the bench, and was so impressive in that last month of that shortened COVID season last year that he became the choice coming into camp, and then just flat out claimed the point guard role. And in all essence, when they play this type of lineup, when Spencer's out there, it's 2 point guards.
Right.
Just playing different positions.
He had 15 points and 7 assists as Spencer earns the foul.
And there he goes to the line, and that's a good place for Cam Spencer to be as he comes in today, 85% at the line. The guards, Spencer, Jalen Andrews, and Kenny Jones, have shot 63 free throw attempts, or they've made 63 out of 80. As a threesome, I mean, by my math, that's pretty darn close to 80%.
That's very good. That is exactly where you need that group of guys to be on the floor to be shooting.
Because they get there, and they get there a lot.
Spencer gets them both here.
14 all. A lot of ties in the early going.
Yeah, no separation so far. Neither team has led by more than a couple of points.
Mount St. Mary's 1-4 on the road. They played some of the big boys like Villanova.
This is what we talk about when we say Spencer does everything. Just going skying, getting the block, starting the fast break.
Andrews in rhythm, which is the way most shooters love to shoot it. And he got a sweet look. Just missed it. Coming down to the 12-minute mark in this first half. Nice dish. Wow, how about the strength of Jefferson right there, powering his way up.
He's got 3 defenders all over him and just hangs in there, finds some.
On to the next chapter.
Yes, correct. It's even, no question. What jumps out at me most so far, Cam Spencer, 3 for 3 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He is feeling it in the early going of this one. So the rest of the team 2 for 7 from the floor.
Now Loyola looking to tie or take the lead. Wade Jackson, guard off the bench for the Greyhounds.
Broadcaster curse. Broadcaster curse,
You
Gary.
knew it was going to happen.
Of course I would bring it up.
Wade Jackson, by the way, missed with a sinus deal the other night. He's on the floor, number 3. Andrews to the corner. And Milos made a couple from that range.
Great job by Jackson.
3 nights ago. Excellent play by Wade Jackson, saving that possession. Andrews thought about going right back up with it. Spins.
It's a soft touch, just wouldn't fall.
There.
Yeah.
Under 11 minutes. Score stays 16-14. Andrews gets a hand on it. He does a lot of everything like Spencer does, like Kenny Jones does. This is the recipe for wins when you've got experienced guards who are familiar with their head coaches, and that's Tavares Hardy, the head coach of Loyola, and the 3, good. Thomas again.
Thomas matches Spencer with a game-high 9 points already, and he's been hitting big threes of late. He had a clutch 3 to win the game against Howard on Tuesday. You saw him on SportsCenter, number 2 on their top 10 plays. He knows a thing or two about big shots.
How about Spencer with a little lean in, leg up, step back, lean back, whatever you call it, but it looked pretty. By the way, Thomas now with 3 threes.
Spencer in double figures already with 11. We're not even at the midway point of the first half. He's on pace for about a 40-point day, Gary.
Good basketball game this afternoon in Baltimore. Nice crowd. Benjamin. Well, Loyola paying a lot of attention to him. Ooh, that pass almost didn't get through. Offer him from the corner. Great box out and rebound by Jalen Andrews. Andrews will steal it. He'll rebound it. He'll cause a turnover. Boy, Spencer heading for a travel call. He got rid of it.
Desperately looking for some help. Just gets rid of it in time.
Look at the bounce pass by Andrews. And Alonso Farre, for his first run today, the sophomore, 6'9", out of Spain, says thank you very much. 9 points the other night in his best-looking game of the season.
Averaged 8.7 rebounds over his last 2 games.
And great defense by Farre there. Jefferson really no way out of that.
Spencer definitely thought there was going to be a foul call there. He absolutely tossed that up, assuming a foul.
I thought there was.
Okay, there was. All right, just didn't hear the whistle.
Well, we've been watching Spencer frustrated with his three-point shooting of late. You know, he shows it a little bit during the game. He's getting a lot of extra shooting practice working on it. But what you see is a player adjusting, Glenn. How many times, and he's going to go to the basket hard anyway, but he's trying to get to the line Wednesday night. He's like, I'm going to score. And his shooting stats were fine, but look at the free throw shooting, and then, when they started to make that not a game, he was making his buckets.
Yeah.
Whether it was a 3 here or there or a couple of 2s, but a thinking man's kind of player. And, Jalen Andrews plays the same kind of game. He goes hunting in other ways, and they don't stop playing.
Right. Energy throughout. Oh, that's such a great point, Gary. They are what you're seeing here at the start of the game. Cam Spencer's going to look the exact same way when we get into the second half. The same amount of energy, the same effort on both ends of the floor. That's what he does. They settle into the zone this time defensively.
To the corner. The ball moved nicely on that possession. Great rebound by Opoku, and Kenny Jones just reached in there and said, thank you very much. The big guys bring it down low at their peril. Wade Jackson on the cut. They are susceptible, according to the scouting report, to that backdoor cut. They try to take away that first pass aggressively, and you better be ready for what happens when it doesn't work. And Loyola now inches up to a 3-point lead, which I think is its largest lead.
Correct. But again, still no real separation here. We haven't seen 2-possession games much throughout the course of the day.
Yep, and we're not going to see one for a couple more possessions as Benjamin evens this game at 22 apiece. Sweet-looking release.
My word, and he was 4 feet behind the 3-point line. That's a shot.
12 minutes into a really good first half in this long rivalry. And the lob too high from big to big.
I was going to praise Milos Ilic for his pass on the cut the previous possession. Obviously just missed that one. And hard to miss when you're thrown into a 6'10" Alonso foul ray.
Maybe it was about 3 feet too high.
Right. If only foul ray was 8 feet tall, it would be no problem.
Wait, look at the long arms he's got to get it over to negotiate that pass. We're under 8 minutes here. Even at 22. Loyola Mount St. Mary's with a good one. Benjamin got Ilic up in the air. Now back to him. Kenny Jones pressing out. Shot clock down to 6. Fare got a hand up, and they're going to let's give a great man a couple of seconds here. Talk about him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know you covered college basketball in this area for so long. Truly one of the kindest men that existed in this sport in this area.
And one of the coolest bow ties.
100%. And you actually see as Mount St. Mary's goes on top, their players wearing a little bow tie patch over the Under Armour logo on their shirts. Jim Phelan, an absolute legend in this sport, not just in this region, in the sport altogether. 830 career victories in 49 seasons as Mount St. Mary's head coach.
49.
Which is staggering. Staggering number. 5 decades that he was out in Emmetsburg as the head coach. A towering figure. 16 trips to the NCAA tournament, including when they were a lower division, the college division. He won the 1962 national championship, got them into Division I, and kept bringing them to the NCAA tournament at that point. An unbelievable legend in the sport, and so important to everyone in that area, Gary. I saw when Mount St. Mary's won the NEC championship last year to make it to the NCAA tournament, Dan Engelstad went and visited with the Phelans to celebrate the moment with them. He means so much to that community and so many in this area in the sport of college basketball, and is sorely missed.
Thank you for that, Glenn. Well done. And while we were reminiscing about Coach Phelan, here went the Mountaineers on what's now a 4-0 run coming out of the timeout. And Ilic draws that foul. Jefferson. And that's his first. And the Greyhounds strategically would like to see that number go up. 1 personal foul on Jefferson. And we've got some reserves jumping into the fray for the Mount. Frantisek Barton on, 6'7" sophomore forward. And back again, Dakota LeFew, 6'5" guard. Loyola failed on their possession before this one as David Brown kind of had to rush a 3 and was off the mark.
I hesitate to say this, Gary, but neither team has missed a free throw yet. So we're going to learn if the broadcaster's curse is real or not with this second free throw from Milos Ilic.
Well, I suppose there are people that believe in those things, so let's play along.
Yeah, right? Entertain them. See if it's true.
Velko can't hear you. He's in his own head right now.
All right. Illich now with 4 for the game.
Nice job. And
that proves the broadcaster curse is not real, Gary Lambrecht.
And the Twins were money the other night at the line as well. And just an easy turnover. Yeah. Somebody was supposed to cut and didn't. It's like the receiver that runs the in instead of the out pattern, and it's an easy interception. And three-pointer, no good. And that ball is going to go back to the Mountaineers, 26-24, Mount St. Mary's.
That's a shot that I think Tavares Hari wants Milos Illich taking, though.
No question. No question.
Extend the defense.
You get yelled at more for not taking it than missing it.
100%. I also loved, we saw before the timeout, if you're with us going to break, Tavares Hari grabs Fowray and walks him through that foul on Barton. And
Greyhounds going to a zone there effectively. Got a defender flying at the shooter as well. Now Loyola with a chance to tie or take the lead. Andrews, Illich, Spencer, Illich, and Jones on the floor. Shot clock down to 7. Jefferson trying to poke it away. Ooh. Nice little fade hook. Oh, 6'9" Jefferson, who's really good at defending the post, could do nothing about that play.
That's awesome. I mean, that's just an absolute, you have a move like that soft touch at that size, there is no answer for it. Oof.
Well, if you're going to foul him, let him know you're in the neighborhood, and that was all shoulder from number 12, Spencer. Yowza.
And that was, I think, you could say Spencer's a little out of control there. I think he expected for him to be moving a certain way and just got in the way.
I think part of him was already moving to try and get a hand on it, and then said, well, here's where you give it up. Bang. Just let the offensive player know you got him on your radar. Nice power move, but couldn't finish with the left hand by Opoku.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of easy.
I don't know for sure that he was set. We'll have to see. But if he was, yes, that's obviously an easy call.
Have you noticed, as the recent years have gone by, and it's starting to creep into the pro game as well, when it looks a certain way, like I agree with you on that call.
I don't think he was set. I don't think he was set at all.
It's almost like protecting the player, rewarding the aggressor,
Gary, I think you're
rewarding the non-aggressor.
I think you're absolutely right about this. I think they just don't. They tend to, if it's a big hit, we're just going to make the call. It's almost football-esque, right, in that way. There is no world in which that was a set defender, and that should not have been an offensive foul. It should have been a blocking foul.
Boy, Spencer almost swiped that ball away from Barton, but it worked out just fine for Loyola. And plus, you discourage it from happening again. You know, you discourage the next time down the floor. Don't go barreling into the player because we're probably going to whistle it. 26 all. Tight ball game. Most of this first half. 4 minutes just about to go, and Spencer can't believe it.
Trying to go high off the glass. Not able to get it to fall. That's a tough shot.
He had plenty of touch on it, too. That one way short. And Illich with another board.
So both teams.
That's Velko, by the way.
Both teams started off shooting hot from the floor, and I think we're seeing, not unexpected as we get late into the half and you get tired legs.
Defenses are making more adjustments.
Exactly. Starting to cool off a little bit.
Boy, Andrews hung in the air, changed hands. Ouch. How do you defend against one of the Illich brothers? Kenny Jones needs a shot to fall. It doesn't have to be one guy with a bunch of them, but the team has shown in the early going this season, Loyola that is, that they can spread the scoring around and the ball just moves and the shooter converts. It's so important when it looks pretty. Look at that. What a great pass. What, did you make the shot or not?
Right.
And they were making them certainly when they had to open up that game against Chicago State. And on the way up, foiled was Uffendam.
Velko just held his ground there. That's all he did. He just held his ground. That was deflected. So, yeah, Tavares Hari and I are in agreement. I thought that was deflected.
They're going to ask for a review here, or I got my sports mixed up. Did they stop?
Let's watch.
Did they stop for a review in a situation like this ever? Oh, Oh, come on. We officially have a terrible call. Are the votes, have they been counted? It's all the votes to 0.
It's
that's
unanimous,
that's
correct.
B-A-D in caps. Bad.
Tavares already saw it. I was confident.
The trajectory of the ball alone. Oh, and that really hurts because you feel like it's a 5-point play that just happened. You lost a chance to get your 2 or 3, and then Benjamin stuck it.
He's got 8 now for the game. It's his second 3, and it's his second 3 from seriously 3 to 4 feet from beyond the arc.
Why isn't that reviewable? I guess one day maybe it will be.
Andrews is capable of doing as a scorer.
Got an assist and a rebound. You know, in a game like this where both teams have been around 50% so much, the rebounds aren't really a factor.
It's a great point, right.
13-9 at least a minute or so ago. Oh!
That was on the rim for an hour.
He deserved it. You can't put any more touch on a shot like that. 33-31, Loyola.
And Opoku's got 8. Good look. Andrews just couldn't get it to fall. But that's what they need. They need someone to establish themselves as secondary scorer today.
We're under a minute. Oh, a great move. And that time the roll wasn't kind at the end. 45 seconds remaining. Andrews with a great crossover. Ouch.
That's it. That's exactly what they need.
These are senior moments at the end of a half, which are important moments in a game like this. 35-31. Thank you, Jalen Andrews. 7 points to go with 3 rebounds for the senior from Boys Latin.
Is that the 7th foul? It is, so that's going to put them in the bonus.
Yep, in the bonus they are. Benjamin will step up, and he's a good guy to step up for the freebies.
He doesn't miss much.
That's as calm as a cool breeze right there.
Pointed out 93% from the free throw line coming into today.
Oh!
That's worse. That's worse.
In his mind, Andrews, Spencer, and Jones, the 3 leading scorers for Loyola on the floor with the Twins.
They're certainly not just holding the ball, Gary.
Andrews just unstoppable in these last few minutes.
So much for running clock. Go get a bucket.
I mean, nobody rolled to double him,
Yep.
and that was it. He's probably following orders in that way. They expect it, that staff. He's that kind of a scorer. Opoku.
Yep.
If you're looking at Loyola and thinking about the step-up guys, well, Kenny Jones, 1 for 4, made that early 3 and struggled a little bit with his shot. He's got 3 points. Milos Ilic, who's on the floor now, did a lot of things, rebounding, assisting, just bothering shots. But even that needs to happen. He needs to get on the board. He's got 0, and then Alonzo Farre, he's 1 for 1. He was fine. Now, he only got 5 minutes. So maybe a little more taste of Alonzo as Spencer, and that shot gets swatted, and then Spencer wisely avoids the frustration foul right there.
And I think
looking for a tie-up, and it wasn't happening.
He wanted a call first. He determined there was going to be a call when we went up with that one.
That looked like a clean block.
I think you're right, Gary. I think you're right.
So both teams have the ability to frustrate the other team's shooters because they're long and they can deny shots. That shot way off, just grazed the iron. Thomas, 37-34. It remains a little over a minute into this second half. Loyola with a 1-possession lead over Mount St. Mary's. And Spencer gets it taken away. What a play by the big man that's been hounding.
The only thing I don't understand about that is why Cam didn't hang on there. When you got Mesioprim on the floor, you should be able to tie him back up in that situation. But he kind of just backed off and went to defend.
Might have something to do with that hip.
Maybe
there are certain things he doesn't want to put his body through.
Okay.
Not sure.
Sure.
And he doesn't want to commit the foul. And Thomas, from almost the same spot where he just missed, says, I got that one measured up. We're tied at 37.
He's now 4 of 6 from beyond the arc for the game.
12 points for DeAndre Thomas. DeAndre has gotten on TV. Buzzer beater against Howard the other night in a win for Mount St. Mary's. Their only road win of this season. They're 1-4. Obviously trying to change that this afternoon here at Loyola.
And with that miss, Illich is now 2 of 10, or sorry, the team is now 2 of 10 from beyond the arc today.
And the miss as DK pulls that rebound away.
Opoku can't get that. He was basically in the basket when he released that shot.
37 all. 2.5 minutes into this half. Loyola started this second half with 2 bigs. Spencer got what he wanted that time.
Yep. And that was to the body. It was the shoulder came into Spencer's, the top portion of Spencer's body from off him. See it again.
All the way. Spencer in 18.5 minutes in that great first half. 15 points on 4 for 6 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Chipped in a block shot and a rebound, no assists.
Which is rare for him, right? We're talking about a player in Cam Spencer.
But he hasn't made any bad passes either.
No, that's a great point.
What's
That's a great point, Gary.
Right?
He's leading the Patriot League with a 4.57 to 1 assist-to-turnover ratio this season. 11th in the country in assist-to-turnovers.
And Loyola's, as a team, leading the Patriot League, I think a little comfortably. They're about 3.4 in the positive in team assist-to-turnover ratio. It's been enormous. It's kind of becoming part of early season ID of this team.
They came in today averaging just 12.6 turnovers per game, and it was 1.3 to 1 in the assist-to-turnover ratio, Gary. So, yeah.
Well, they're forcing close to 16 of them a game, I think. 39-37, and Opoku contested all the way up, and Loyola's upset about that whistle. It's just a possession call, not a foul.
So it'll stay with Mount St. Mary's.
Boy, Golden DK sat long and longer throughout that first half. He came out about 3.5 minutes in with 2 fouls. And boy, his defense he's right back on his toes. He's been good all season on the boards and playing D. Rims out for Thomas.
It's a tough pull-up jumper from Thomas.
And DK, by the way, in the top 20 in assists in the Patriot League. He's a great passing big man. He just needs to shoot it more and score it more. And right now, not foul anymore.
But I think, Gary, that decision to keep DK on the bench speaks to the general happiness Tavares Hardy had with the way his team was playing.
The long rebound, and it was swiped at by Milos Illich out of bounds. Good call.
I think if you're frustrated with the way things are going, you try to sneak DK back in there for a few minutes. But I think if you're Tavares Hardy, you're saying to yourself, look, I like where we are in this game. I like how we're playing. I don't want him getting a 3rd foul before the half. I think it's more valuable. I'll just keep him on the bench, and I'll know that we're in a better situation in the second half.
And it's a present performance kind of deal. Are they hurting me? Are they killing us in any way? No, no, no. I mean, moving the ball on, not making shots, but defending, holding their position. And we're talking about the twins, the Illich twins, as well as Alonzo Fari when he was out there. Interesting that we haven't seen more of him.
And not a lot of minutes in that first half, only 5 for Alonzo Fari.
Great players continue to play. And what confidence they must have at that end, going into a game like this with such presences as Jefferson and Opoku. Just pure shot blocking, strong men, older men, seniors.
The shame there, Spencer totally had.
We got a little push in the back on Offerum.
Spencer had Malik Jefferson completely off his feet. If he just tosses up a shot there, he's going to get 3 free throws.
Yep.
But they get a foul anyway, and the possession continues.
And that's the 3rd on Offerum. So there's a beginning in the crack in the wall of defense, because he has been really making Cam Spencer work hard for his points.
First player from either
the bench.
First player from either team with a 3rd person.
Yeah, Mezi Offerum to the bench for the Mountaineers. Andrews
Ooh. Ooh.
No chance.
Ooh, Malik Jefferson. Like a Nirvana song. It's a denial.
I don't understand why big guys, you know, is the Bill Russell style going out? I mean, he could have just blocked it with the palm and just taken
Brought it in, sure. It's not as cool of a highlight, though, Gary.
Definitely not as cool.
Andrews
Huge
with
shot.
the shot clock down. That's a senior.
That's
making his team feel a little more at ease right now.
That's the first field goal of the second half for the Greyhounds, Gary, and it couldn't have been any bigger.
The teams had shot 1 for 9 combined coming out of that official timeout. And Andrews with an easy one. 4 quick points for him, and the lead now a game-high 6 for Loyola. And Dan Engelstad's not fooling around. He wants to